What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to this episode of On the Bench with Pete. This is a series you put on in the background as you hobby or paint along with me, and we get to talk about different things, what's going on in my life, gaming stuff, hobby stuff, you know, all that sort of good things. The idea of this is you put it on in the background as you do something that's a bit more mundane, like, you know, base coating or bases, or I don't know, edge highlighting the swords on 100 or so, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. The point is we get stuff done together. Now, grab yourselves a brush, glue, models, paints, whatever else you need. Let's get to work because it's going to be about an hour. I do have stuff to talk about, and yeah, so before we do that, I want to show you some stuff that's on the bench right now. Let's turn the camera around. Now I'm in two minds with this, to do tutorials for it or not. I was thinking of doing Zombicide for on the bench, you see, because I've got a lot of them to do and I've got to get through them, so that would be good. Oh, good, look at the yawns out of the way now. Oh dear me. Yeah, I think these might be good for tutorials. I don't know. They're going to be for my diorama, for my wife's third book, which you know, I like to do a diorama for each book that comes out. So, but yeah, I'm in two minds. I've got the bridge kind of done for that, and that is over there. You see that? MDF bridge there. Let's move this back here. Yeah, so at the moment I don't know, but I've got these guys to do as well. Those three there. One of them's a Hordes model, and the other two are just like Reaper models or whatever for D&D and that. Pterodactyl. Yeah. Anyway, let's cut back to me. Well, let's get back to me, and let's get to the bench, shall we? Okay, so here we are on the bench, and yeah, I've moved these couple of Werewolves and Golem off the bench now. I have decided, yes, I'm probably going to do tutorials, especially for the Golem, because I've done flesh and stone Golem. Clay Golem will be quite good, although he's going to be for the diorama. And the female werewolf, and this normal werewolf, which I don't know, I quite like his pose. I'm not so sure about hers, but anyway, I'm going to be preparing these as well as working on these three miniatures right here. Who knows, I could even work on my beholder. My homemade beholder. So I've got stuff to do on him as well. Right, so okay. I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna unpackage my female werewolf. This is what I'm gonna do. So I will keep the packaging here, the cardboard, just to remind me what I've got to do. Alright, so there we are, and I got some clippers as well. Just got tail to go on off the sprue here, so so that's that. Right, so back to this. Yes, the beauty of editing, always good. Start with the tail because it's small. And I'm back here doing this. I'm kind of forcing myself to do
this on the bench. Not that it's a chore or anything like that. I'm forcing myself because I haven't been able. I haven't had the time, and B, I felt too guilty about doing anything hobby related lately until I get a job. It just doesn't seem right somehow. Now I'm going to see if I can change the position of her arm later. Bits of flash on here. I don't know how old this sculpt is. Don't suppose it. No, they don't tell you how old the sculpts are. But yeah, it's probably needs updating. Be good in it would be good in plastic, definitely. Female werewolf. Yeah, need more of those. So integral to certain stories, certainly for my diorama. Oh, loads of flash on the side of the leg there. That's okay. I'm not going to rush. I'm just preparing these ready for tutorials. I've got another orc coming. I want to do tutorials for the Hero Quest figures, which is one of my latest playlists, but and that's fine. But for the majority of the tutorial, you just use the first orc with the cleaver, and he'll probably do the majority of your orcs. You can vary things like tunics and whatnot. So he should be an easier tutorial to film than the first one. The first one was a bit longer. And then of course I did my mummy one, which is cool as well. I really enjoyed that because that really is a simple paint job. I mean, it was simple to begin with the dry brushing, but it's even simpler with the contrast paint. Because the actual dry brush is such a light dusting, it's hardly any effort whatsoever. There. No. That's quite cool. That's good. That's better. Now. Bit of touch of glue. Now there's going to be the difficult part. We'll be gluing the tail on. That's one. Once he's dry, I can attach him to a base. Now my next one will be the Shinlord Clay Golem. Doesn't mean I'll be needing super glue for that one, but still in preparation. Right, so enough stalling. What's been going on with me then? Well, I've been applying for jobs, as you do when you're unemployed, you know. Been applying. And I'm just waiting to hear. Trying to, you know, put out some positive vibes. Which is difficult, you know. It is difficult. Especially at this time of year. Put his cardboard to one side as well. This clay golem is a real easy sculpt because you don't even need to do that much detail. I mean, no mouth to speak of, just sunken pits for eye sockets, so no eyes really. So I've applied for loads of jobs. And to be honest, I don't really mind what I do. I don't care what I do, as long as I'm, you know, able to do it, and you know, it's quite a good. It doesn't have to be a good laugh, but a good atmosphere. You know, a good working atmosphere. I can hear the rain coming down. It's been so cold today, you know, it's really cold. I've had my heating on out here all the time, it's not been turned off. That's unusual because it usually gets warm out here with the heating on. I have to say, it usually gets warm, but not today. It's very cold. My goal is to do another D&D solo playthrough to pick up where we left off from the last one. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that, guys. That's the rain outside. But yeah, to pick up where I left off from the last one, which is what that style of solo play is designed to do with the notes and things. So I'll be able to demonstrate just how easy it is to, you know, bam, get right back into it. At least that's the plan, anyway. Let's if I can do that. And then that will demonstrate how easy it is. And hopefully a few more of you can delve in. And then there's other things I'll do. I want to take actual modules. And I might look at old modules too, if I can get them cheap enough. Old D&D modules, because the game mechanics are what change, you know, from a different edition to a different edition, later editions, and so on and so forth. But the stories of the modules, they should stay the same. Shouldn't be any difference there. The narrative behind it. Yes, the narrative behind it. I was talking about narrative in life today with someone, how we live in narrative. Or at least I do. So I guess we're part of the narrative, so we have the power to change it, you know. That's good. Comforting thought. So man, that rain is hard. Yes, if I can do these figures as tutorials, that'd be really cool. Especially this dude. The Golem's done. Yeah, I like the way he is. Would he go on there? I think so. Can you hear that? God, wow, that is some rain. Yeah, it's definitely raining. Like, wow. Right, let's see how this tail is here. That's good. Right, so we pop this figure onto a holder 2. Right, so that's 2 figures there. You see those there? Yeah. I'll bend her arm down slightly. So I think that looks a bit better. I think if we could actually bend it a little bit more. Like so. I think that's better. That's a bit more in keeping with how I want it. See what I mean about his face? Just the sunken sockets and the mouth's gone over. You could use any model that didn't come out quite right to be your clay golem, couldn't you? In terms of that. Right, now this werewolf. I don't know if I want this one, I think it's different. I mean, yeah, you could. You could. You could convert it easier. It's certainly easier than metal. I know there's been some amazing metal conversions of different models over the years. And my hat goes off to anyone that does that. Because I think that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I pretty much like this sculpt as is. It's a 2016 sculpt, this one. That much I can tell you. I think he is going to have to go on a bigger holder. So I think something like this. Get rid of that. Oh, I watched the movie Laurel and Hardy the other night. That's just quite a sad story. Laurel and Hardy worked hard all their lives. They never really got much recognition monetarily. You know, even for the time. They They did a lot of free publicity as well, and personally I think their agents ripped them off left, right and centre. Don't know how he's going to fare on that. I do have a glass one. I could sort of stick him on, I suppose. Yeah. Right. I say no primer, but bomb. It says ready to paint. That's the thing. Oh, and I'm wondering if I could paint. Here, so I've got ceramite white as a base coat. White scar. White grey. So I think ceramite white and white scar. Yes, you know what I'm going to do. This guy is going to be a contrast paint job on there. So that's going to be his kind of his primer. It says you don't need primer for these. So I'm going to put that to the test. I'm going to pop that on ceramite white and an undercoat. I'm going to fit it right down. Going to use some thinners. Oops. And this is how we're going to do it. It's nice and thin. It's going on thin. I mean, if all else fails, I'll just strip it and start again. That's what I'll do. So this looks a bit crazy doing this right now, I know that. I know, I can see that. But I think it's for the best. Now what I'll do is I'll put a I'll put a coat of something on him. Contrast paint wise. And then we can do dry brushing and further highlights. I think that's been the best because he's got so much detail on his fur with this werewolf. I know from experience that contrast paint straight onto the Reefer plastic doesn't work. I thought it might. See, I was trying to be a bit of a cheapskate, save even more money there. And even more time, so cut out a whole step. No, you do need the primer or at least undercoat. It says you don't need primer. So, we're putting that to the test. We really are. So I'm waiting to hear back from a couple of jobs now. I have hopefully a job lined up for December. Just take me through to the end of December. That will so that's kind of not too bad. It's just, I mean, this month is really struggling financially. It's a big struggle. But if I can get through it, and if I can get this job for December, that'd be good, and then hopefully I can have something for the new year like that. What do I want out of a job? I've been asked this before. What's my ideal job right now? Well, it doesn't have to be like super high profile. It needs to be all right pay, at least average. 24 hours a week would be more than enough to cope with. See, that's what I had before with Sainsbury's, and the amount of hours was perfect. Yeah. Yeah, the amount of hours is, really good. That's about just right, just about right for me, that. Okay, so this fellow, he's looking quite good now, quite white, very white. Once the contrast hits him, that'll change, of course. I think we're just about done on this one. With his undercoat. Yeah. Yeah, not bad at all. It's a brilliant sculpt. I love it. He looks amazing. Alright. So, the werewolf is undercoated. And that's good. Now, thinking about how I'm going to do my tutorials, I'm probably going to paint these traditionally. Yeah, traditionally, I think. So I'm going to give him... Actually, I'll paint them black, primer-wise. That's what I'm going to do. Black primer. Why not? Well, my white's finished. Let's pop that back. White's gone as well. Yeah, so this is black. Vallejo Surface Primer black, just a little bit. Now, brush. Here's my brush. I'll use this one. Doesn't have to be very. Oh, look at that. Oh. I hate it when you lay your paint out and the handle of a brush rolls, isn't it? Anyway, enough of that. Alright, let's start with you as a metal werewolf. Yeah, so we're going to be painting these in a traditional manner. Colours on top of primer, comprising base coats, layer paints, and probably shade washes as well. I haven't used black primer in a long time. I used to use it all the time, but now I tend to use Panzer Grey because it's easier to pick out detail, I find. But you know, this has been good. All black primer and brushed on. That's good. Right, so that could go back there. Now for our clay golem. Yeah. So I figure that I don't need to show this process on a tutorial, because someone can either spray brush or hand brush their primer on, you know, without watching me do it. I'm guessing. That said, I might do a hobby 1-to-1 at some point on priming. I'll just make sure I haven't done that already, but yeah. Help to revive that series as well. Right, using up the last of the paint there. Just a couple more drops. The rain's back. I'm not going to be able to go indoors until the rain has subsided. Yeah, so there you are. So that's me lately, looking for work again. You know, it's all because I left Sainsbury's because I felt it was a toxic environment, which it was. Because I stood up for what I felt was right. However, it's done me no favours job-wise now. But I realise I've got to look forward, not to dwell on the past. You know, what's done is done. And there we are. The Golem done. Now that's looking pretty good from my perspective. Looking pretty good. Clean these brushes off. Actually, use the soap block. It's not brush, so it's just soap. I want to use Pears soap someday for this, because that used to be like when I was a kid, it's my favourite brand of soap, Pears soap. And if you're old enough, you might remember that. It was out along the same sort of time as Imperial Leather, and that was another one. I don't know, a very distinctive odour to it. Very distinct. Okay, alright. Now I've got this Hordes guy to do. And these two for D&D. I feel she needs some extra work. Her hair, I think. Whether I do the hair or the sword first on this one, it's going to be a little awkward. So I think I'll go with the hair. I want it to be a kind of a yellowy colour hair. Can we go with here? I might even be able to go with this, because I've got two yellow contrast paints here. Iandan yellow and Nazdreg yellow. I think I'll go with Nazdreg yellow. See how that pans out. That one there. Browny yellow. That's alright. Because she's got white. I think it's white grey. Or is it? No, it's white. Ugh, excuse me. White primer. That's what she's got. White primer. Okay, so. So yeah, very much browny yellow. It's cool because it's like it gives you yellow hair, but kind of brown in the recesses. That's cool. I like that. Right. Oh yeah. There we go. So as far as the yellow hair goes, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, pretty happy. Pretty happy indeed. Now, let's wash off my brush. It would be so easy to end this early. I don't want to. Right, I've got to do some details on my beholder. Right, now here's the thing. I made this beholder. I've made several of them, but you know, if you want to find out how I make them, and I'm editing this, I'll try and put a link up in the corner up here for you, so that would be good. Yeah, lines of his eyes. Right, I need Abaddon Black, which I've got out already. My palette's making a right mess at the moment. Abaddon Black, there we go. Using my small detail army painter brush. Yeah, so if you want to find out how I make these, then you know, please check out my video. just doing these like lines for pupils. Bear in mind, this is a beholder as he looks in my world. Be different in yours, and that's fine. Do them however you want to do them. Yeah, that is excellent. Just made from those plastic balls from ball pools that you get to fill up ball pools with. Those paper clips, polystyrene balls, and some toothpicks, and that is it. That's my phone again. Let's see what the deal is here now. Nothing of a note. Just notifications on things that, don't need my immediate attention. Right, so I've done a bit of work on my beholder. That's cool. I'm chuffed with that. And I may use some gloss varnish on him at some. I think I'm gonna put some shade washes. What red washes have I got? Do I have a red one? That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. Red ink. Ink. So this army painter one I'm using here. So the zombicide, and there's sort of a new link theory, but zombicide, that will be coming up at some point, because that is what I'm going to be doing, some zombicide stuff. Got to do my angry neighbours. See if we can pop some red tones to these. Alright, so yeah, Angry Neighbours, and then I think I've just got Rue Morgue to get after that. Yeah. Rue Morgue. I think that's all the traditional Zombicide stuff out then, because there won't be any more, because they got like the second edition Zombicide or what have you. I'll be looking at probably look at the Invader stuff next after that. Yeah, right, okay. So I can pop him back to one side. Red shade done. Really come on a long way. Yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. So we've done her hair. I'm just gonna need some. She's gonna need some lead belchering, isn't she? She's gonna need some fur. So what's the brown contrast paints we've got here? We've got snake white leather, which might be one I could use. Wildwood. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. Should we try some snake bite leather then? And her fur. We might use this small detail brush for that. Snake bite leather. Right, let's try this out. Snake bite leather. Actually, I'll put it on our boots. Not too sure about the bit around her waist, I'll be honest. It's kind of like it's got fur on it. But it could also be like chainmail links. That's almost what it is like. I'm gonna give it to her in the same colours for continuity. I think is what I'm looking for here. Wristband, no wrist, guard, wrist protector. Right. So it's kind of looks like that. Still got to do the metallics. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, like that. Well, we're nearly at the hour now. Nearly at the hour. And what can I tell you? I need to do, yes, that's something I need to do. Very, 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 very tiny. Very, 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 very tiny. Dampness of the brush. Cadmium flesh tone. On there, so that's that done. There was other paints I've got to get. I've got a whole ton of paints, but I've got more to get. That I think is going to help me with my painting. So I used to have done something like that. Yeah, there's different flesh tones that I want to get hold of. I think it's time we broke out the steel. The riddle of steel. Lead belcher. Right, now this, as it's a metallic paint, gets the brushes go in a different jar, because I don't like mixing up metallics with non-metallics paints and stuff. Right. So that's why I do that. Don't know why I'm telling you this, because you know this all already. Well, I'm not trying to educate you, I promise. Okay, now we need to add vineyard. The other side of this palette. Thinners, yes, what we need, thinners. So, oops, other jar. Right, so let's get this show on the road, as my dad would say. He used to say. He used to say it a lot when he was alive. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, let's get this show on the road then. Yeah. Talking about my dad today with someone. I really do miss him. I think these blades may have already been painted, but pretty tricky. Silver for now, as in the pommel of the handle of the sword. Just a simple barbarian. My stomach's telling me it's hungry. So I guess I'll be going in after I've done all this. But what do you think? I mean, for a female barbarian, you know, she's coming on in leaps and bounds there. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. All right. Just the end of his sword. Her sword. So her, so. Right, I'm turning off my heater because we've used more than enough electric on that to now. Actually, I was gonna paint his. I was gonna paint his knee guards in Red Belcher, but I'm decided against that. I am painting the bottom of his armours on his boots, Red Belcher, but I shall be painting the rest of it in browns. So there's that. Right, time to call it a day. I've painted something on every figure I had out here for this, and that was my goal. Even if it's, you know, a little thing, just priming, you know, like for instance, then you go, well, look, I primed the model. It's the primed model now. It's undercoated or primed. It's not primer, but it's been undercoated, ready for contrast paint. And yeah, I feel no shame at using contrast paints to make my life easier, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's the whole point of them for me, to make life go a bit easier. There, so that's that, and that's that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take this sheet of palette paper, once it's dry I shall turn it over and use the other side. So but the pad itself for now can stay there. Well, put it up there out of the way. There, glasses off. These are my cheapy glasses I bought in a pound shop. Yeah. So I've done some work on each of these models, and I'm really pleased with the progress that has been made. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I do. I love this model. It just looks so, I don't know, dynamic. Can't wait to get him painted up. So I've got 3 models for my diorama so far. I do have more to get, I know that. I've got to get a rat of some description. I still have my brain in a jar. That's not changed. Look at that. Look. It's not for the diorama. It's just there. He's on my bench. My brain in my jar. Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been super talkative. I'll do my best to edit out the worst bits, but you know I get tired of a night time and it just gets away from me. So all that remains for me to say is thank you for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to war. If you want to support me, there's my Patreon page. If you want to check that out, just click on the Patreon link on the home screen. Or if you don't want to support monetarily, you just like, share, subscribe. That goes a huge way. I mean, thumbing up the videos goes a huge way to helping me. It really does, guys. But if I say, if you want to support me monetarily, then it's, you know, just $1 a month. That's all I ask. You can do that, and that will help me immensely too. And yeah, I'm getting there. As you know, I've been down lately, but I'm taking steps to rectify this and get back on track. So that's what I'm doing. That's the purpose of this session right now, is to help me in that respect, and it is, and it does. So thank you very much. Remember, all brushes lead to all. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now, folks. Bye bye. Bye bye.